Welcome to Thursday Flow. Now, this morning I want to offer a slightly different lens on the law of attraction. What if it isn't really about attracting at all? What if it's actually about commitment? Now, there's a concept in physics called entrainment resonance. The idea that you draw into your life what you are already vibrating at. In that sense, it's less about attraction and more about vibration. And here's the part that fascinates me. If it's a law, it should work for everyone, correct? Yet we know it doesn't, at least not consistently. Some people visualize, affirm, journal, create vision boards, and nothing shifts. Others seem to declare something and it unfolds almost immediately. So, what's actually happening? The deeper truth is this: the so called law of attraction works because it changes the way you make decisions, and your life follows your decisions. Most people make decisions based on their present conditions, don't they? They want a holiday, so they go check their bank account. It's empty. And they say, well, can't afford that. Decision is made. Life is unchanged. If every decision you make is based on your current circumstances, your life just simply cannot change. It's logical. So, what does the law of attraction try to get you to do? It encourages you to step into the version of yourself you want to become and make decisions from there. From the future version of you. Now that makes sense, but it's not easy because your current environment, your current situation keeps pulling you back to what is familiar. That little voice inside you says, who are you dreaming about XYZ so much more than what you've got now? And this is where commitment comes in. Underneath attraction sits something far more powerful, and that's the law of commitment. When you commit, I mean truly commit to something outside your current comfort zone, something extraordinary happens. Your biology, can you believe that? Your biology, the inside of you, your biology responds. There's research that supports this, and this is where it also becomes rather fascinating. Professor Gary McPherson from the University of Melbourne wanted to understand something simple. Why do some children learn the piano quickly while others struggle, even with the same lessons, same content? Now, he took it upon himself and he studied hundreds of 10-year-old children. He tested IQ, rhythm, dexterity, whether there was a piano at home, parental influence, you name it, he tested it. And none of those factors predicted success. But by asking one question, it did. He asked each child, how long do you intend to play the piano for? Some said, until the end of the year. So that was a short-term commitment, I guess because they had to play it. It was part of the school curriculum. Until the end of school, mid-term commitment. For the rest of my life, obviously, is a long-term commitment, and that's a passion. So it was just an idea in their mind. But here's what astounded everyone. The children who declared long-term commitment, i.e., the rest of their life, progressed dramatically faster than the others. The determining factor wasn't talent, wasn't intelligence, and it wasn't repetition alone. It was the length of commitment. Now, his study actually is very, very interesting for those of you who want to go deeper into that. Here's where it becomes extraordinary. When you make a long-term commitment, especially one beyond your current comfort zone, your brain responds differently. And you only have to pause here and think about it. Somebody who's committing to for a life of piano playing has a different perspective on their commitment than somebody who's just filling in time until the end of the year. So when you do make a long-term commitment, especially one beyond your current comfort zone, as we've said, your brain responds differently. Certain support cells in the brain, astrocytes to be precise, become more active. They support the production of myelin, the insulation around neural pathways that makes signals travel faster and more efficiently. And that's an interesting topic in itself. In simple terms, commitment increases neural efficiency. Repetition strengthens it, but commitment is what switches it on. So, the old saying, repetition is the mother of skill, is not quite correct. Repetition without commitment produces mediocre results, which is what he found. Commitment plus repetition produces transformation. And this explains why someone dropped into a foreign country can learn the language quickly. They are committed. Survival may depend on it. The brain responds accordingly. So there's a profound difference between being interested and being committed. Many people are interested in financial freedom, interested in health, interested in meaningful relationships, for example. But interest does not activate biology. Commitment does. Commitment says, this is who I am becoming. I am not negotiating with my current conditions. And when that decision is made and followed with immediate action, something shifts. The law of attraction works for those it works for because it forces a person to step beyond present conditions, identify their future self, make decisions from that identity, and commit long term. It isn't magic, it's alignment plus biology. When you commit long term to who you are becoming and act, your entire system reorganizes around that decision. Now, most people never experience this because they keep making decisions based on what is. And there's a lovely book that I just really enjoy reading, The Science of Becoming Rich by Wallace Wattles. And he talks about this as well. But on the other side of commitment lies a version of you that your current circumstances cannot yet explain. And that, my friends, is where life expands. Go forth with heart, Margarita.